お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Hey, John Rowe.
The topic of the
We do a
podcast
podcast.
together
We
and
should do a
honestly I'm
podcast.
excited.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Oi, John. Hey, John Rowe. We should do a podcast.
The topic of the podcast together and honestly I'm excited.
G'day, drunks, and welcome to Lords of the Bottle-O, a spin-off podcast where we sit down to have a few bevies with the boys. My name is Philip, and the drunk joining me tonight is Callum. How are you, Cal?
Yep, awesome. Great to be back.
Mate, good to be back, man. I'm so stoked for doing another one of these, man. Last one was so much fun.
Yeah, I know. We definitely had a few of them, and I felt it after. But no, it was a wicked afternoon.
Yeah. How did you pull up afterwards? Because it was like 3 o'clock on a Saturday or a Sunday we did last one.
Yeah, I was just outside playing with the dog, just pretty hemming.
I remember I walked out of the shed like after we finished recording, and I just walked out, and my wife took one look at me, and she goes, "You're like drunk, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fucking toasted." I'm so drunk.
Well, hey, we were doing it right then. We did it right, you know.
Man, but those beers we reviewed last week, the Monteith's black beers, I went back
Yeah.
and got another 6-pack like the next day, man. Those beers were fucking sick.
Yeah,
They're such good beers.
I'm going to stock the fridge up probably tomorrow for Christmas. So I'll definitely be having a few of them with a barbie. I reckon I'll go down and treat.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to get some more. So what's been going on, mate? You were telling me just as we started recording, you had your Christmas party yesterday. You a bit dusty from that, or?
Oh, it was a good solid 12-hour drinking. So I think I'm definitely the man to be talking. I feel like my resume is pretty good to be talking shit about wine. So I definitely. Well, I didn't drink any wine last night, but yeah, we went water skiing, got launched by a biscuit, and did a bit of kneeboarding. Did my first 360 on a kneeboard, so that was pretty
very
cool.
nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a tradies Christmas party. Like, I work in aged care. Our Christmas party yesterday was like a Kris Kringle gift exchange with like wine and nibblies. Like it was
Really?
yeah. Very different worlds we work in, buddy. Very different worlds.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. Everyone had a good time.
Yeah, my Christmas party, like they had like a big table set up with all these wines, but because I was driving, I actually didn't get a chance to crack in and have any drinks. I was just sipping the Coke no sugar all night. So
Yeah, responsible drinking. That's what we want to promote.
always drink responsibly. Always drink responsibly. But we mentioned it on the last week's episode that we're going to be doing a wine review. So do we want to crack in and get going? So
Yeah.
I think we're going to follow the same format we did last time. We've both got one of the same bottles that we'll review together, and then we've both bought a separate wine.
Yep.
I think we both got the same type of wine though.
Yep, we've both gone a rosé.
Yeah, I got a rosé too. Good. And I think we're doing an Australian versus New Zealand thing, right? You bought an
Yep.
NZ rosé and I got an Australian rosé.
Yep, bit of a good old Anzac rivalry.
Rivalry, mate. Fucking hell. I'll make up for all the times we've lost the rugby. Right here, right now, mate. You're going down.
Yeah, let's not bring up rugby, please. That's bloody flashbacks for me. I get every time we lose to New Zealand, the boys at work give me shit every time.
As they would, man. As they would. It's like
Only
anytime.
fair.
It's like anytime there's a Queenslander in New South Wales around Origin. It's just
Yeah.
like if they lose, it's just the biggest fucking kick down of all times. Even though Queensland's
Exactly.
won. Like, I don't even follow football. I've watched like 2 games in my whole life, but all I know is that New South Wales sucks at Origin. We never win. I feel like
we almost did this year, but anyway, we'll get there. Bloody
get
New
there.
South Wales, letting me down.
So we've got two types of wine. Let's go the one we've got same together. So it's a
Yep.
man. I think I got you onto this wine a few months ago. It's man.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
this is one of my favorite wines of all time.
100%.
This is amazing. So it's 19 Crimes, the Uprising. So this is a red blend wine, aged 30 days in rum barrels. It comes in at 8.9 standard drinks per bottle. I think the blend of red it's a not a rosé. It's a Pinot and a Cabernet, I think. No, a
Okay,
Pinot and a
yep.
Sablonc, maybe. I can't
Yep.
remember. But I stumbled across this wine. Oh, I think I tried the 19 Crimes Pinot first, and then I found this one. And ever since I found it, this has been my go-to at all times. It is a phenomenal drop, and I'm so excited to be drinking it again. So
yeah, because I think this one was, I think they were marketing it as a Pinot Noir, but I think they got in trouble because it's aged in the like they fully changed it now. It just says red wine, where before I'm pretty sure it said Pinot Noir, and I couldn't get it on the shelves in New Zealand for about a month. Yeah, because I think they had to reprint some stuff on it or something.
Yeah, I think it didn't meet the classifications to be actually called a Pinot. It does. The 19 Crimes have, I think they basically have a type of wine, like a red variety and a white variety of all types. I don't think they've got a rosé.
Okay.
But this is a South Australian, Southeastern Australia wine company. They're pretty new to the scene from what I've seen. They've, only come out recently, but they do a bloody good drop. So let's pour these glasses up.
Yep.
Got my very nice wine glass. Yeah.
Very fancy. I've got two different wine glasses. I've got a nice red wine glass and a cheap white one. Look at that, beautiful. Look at us.
Mate, we are so good at drinking. We're fucking professionals.
We've stepped up. We have 100% stepped up.
Now,
I'm very proud of us.
This will probably be the first time in my life I've ever cracked a bottle of red wine and not finished it in that one sitting. Well, that is a big pour.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that big, but yeah. Rightio, let's give it a little swirl.
There is a few things you got to do with wine tasting, and I learnt this when I was doing my chef's apprenticeship.
Yep.
So you've always got to check for colour, occupancy, and viscosity. So you're looking for the colour of it, the denseness of it, and the thickness of it. So this is a very dark red wine.
Yeah,
very dark.
You can't see through. Yeah.
It's a thicker wine too. I think because blends more often than not are very thick.
Yep.
And you smell it.
Mm.
It's got a very rummy smell. Very rummy.
Yeah.
I love this wine, man. Fuck, it's so good. Okay.
I know, it is just a very easy drinking wine, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, let's dig in.
All right.
Oh.
Bro, I love that.
It's so good.
I absolutely love that.
I think the thing that makes this wine really, really good for me is just the subtlest tint of that rum at the end of it.
Yep.
You don't get it at the start,
100%.
and it's just when you swallow, you kind of get this smell of rum in the back of your mouth, and it's so good.
It is, how much is a bottle of this going for in Australia?
I got this for $9.90 a bottle, under $10 a bottle.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's so cheap. It's so good, man.
Fuck.
That wasn't even on special.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, I do get a staff discount of like 10%, so I think it might be over $10 for the regular punter. But I got them hookups, brother. I got them hookups. Your boy's out here hustling.
Nice, bro. That's what you need. Because I think I picked this up for $17
Oh,
New Zealand.
wow. Okay. Wow.
Which is in New Zealand, that's about the price range I go for. If I'm feeling fancy or it's a special occasion or something, I'll splash out to 30 because they can't be busting the bank too much.
Oh, man, I think I've only ever had maybe two, maybe three $30 bottles of wine in my life. Not even that. Maybe one. I don't know, man. My price range for wine is between 10 and 15. That's my go-to, man. That's my sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, this is the best for the price of it. This is a go-to. This is an absolute crowd pleaser, I reckon, because it hasn't even when you take the sip. So yeah, you get a real nice kind of Pinot Noir flavor, and then you get the rum at the end, and then it's real. You don't get like with some cheap wines, you can get that real alcohol-y taste, and it's cheap wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
This to me, if I was at a dinner and someone pulled this out and I didn't know how much they paid for it and they just had it in a decanter or whatever they're called, I would have thought this is a $50 bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's got like the subtleness and the sweetness of like a Pinot, where it's that kind of fruity, like almost.
Yep.
I don't want to sound too pretentious, but like playful on the palate. And
Yep.
but then you just get that sharpness of the rum as it goes down. But it's not an overpowering sharpness because it's only aged in rum barrels. Like it's not actually. There's no. It's just that hint of rum in it.
Yeah.
And, it hasn't been aged
Yep.
for long. So, man, it's such a good drop, man.
Yeah, I think that they say it's only aged in the rum barrels for 30 days.
Yeah, 30 days. And so the 19 Crimes, the brand, their whole aesthetic is this kind of... So they always go these all blackout bottles, always this full black bottles, which is something this stands out on a wine shelf because no other wine
Yep.
is doing in a whole black bottle. So immediately
Yep.
it's already, standing out visually. And
Yep.
the whole point of this is each bottle represents a criminal that was sent over from England in the
Yep.
for the when they were sending all the convicts over here in the the 1800s, 1700s. I forget how that works. So,
Somewhere like that, yeah.
do you want to read the back of your bottle? You got a nicer reading voice than me.
Yeah, mine's just saying the Uprising is a new wine aged 30 days in rum barrels, pays homage to the Australian Rum Rebellion in 1808.
So I did a bit of digging into the Rum Rebellion, just because I had never heard of it. Do you know much about the Rum Rebellion of 1808 in Australia?
No.
So the Rum Rebellion was a coup d'etat in the then British penal colonies of New South Wales, staged by the New South Wales Corps in order to depose Governor William Bligh. It's the first and only military coup in Australia's history, and of course it involves alcohol of some kind. It's
Classic.
It's like the only thing we get angry about, I swear to Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, this William Bligh dude was pretty much a terrible guy. Like everything I read about him, it was pretty hard. He did a fair bit of crook stuff when it comes to leading. He once got in a fair bit of trouble. Or no, he once lost favor with the community because he sentenced a I wrote it down here. He sentenced. He also upset people by allowing a group of Irish convicts to be tried for revolt by a court, including their accusers. And then when 6 of the 8 were acquitted, he kept them locked up anyway. So he was like a pretty rough dude. And it's called the Rum Rebellion because basically his leading group and him were imposing a lot of restrictions on the trading of spirits because they were using spirits to barter a lot back then. So, instead of money, because it was a colonial thing, they would barter spirits. And he wanted to have basically a racketeer on all the alcohol coming through the community, through the colony. So basically, when a whole bunch of people got sick of him, 400 people marched on his office and kicked him out. There's a very famous painting in Australian history of a propaganda painting of 3 soldiers pulling out William Bligh from under the bed of one of his, I think one of his servants that he was hiding under, and that's now hanging up in the museum in Sydney. So it's actually fairly historical, and of course we're Australians, so we don't know anything about it because we're not taught anything about Australian history apart from the fact that Cook was a good guy. Yeah. I did air quotes for the people listening because we all know that he was a fucking piece of shit, and
exactly
we should learn more about our heritage, but it's insane that we don't.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's quite interesting. I'm definitely going to have to do a bit of research into that because that's something I would have liked to have learned at school.
Again, so many things I would have liked to learn in school that never got taught. Fucking hell. I know.
Classic.
I know way more about the Civil War in America than I do about our own country's bloody history. It's such a backwards ass education system here. It's wild.
Yeah, exactly. But so these guys they're giving us a nice wine. They're educating us. What more can you ask for?
Man, and I was just on their website today. You know who they're doing a collaboration with?
Yeah, I went on their website too. I was like, I clicked on the website, right? And I was like, this can't be the right website. I'm like, this is Something's weird. Is this taking me to another website?
So for the people at home, 19 Crimes is doing a collaboration with Snoop Doggy Dogg. It's like, it wasn't, because me and you checked the website like, what, a week ago when we decided we'll do this wine? And it wasn't on there because we were both checking. And then when I loaded it up today, I'm like, the fuck? So yeah.
I was like, is this the wrong website? And did you scroll down and watch that little video? So apparently, I don't know if you download an app or something, but you put your phone over the bottle and Snoop Dogg says quotes to you.
Amazing. No. So Snoop Dogg's doing the Cali Red, full and dense with strong black and blue fruit notes up front from the Petite Sayar, complemented with a bright red, slightly canned fruit in the background from the Zinfandel of dark toasted oak ties, and all together with a slightly sweet finish. I don't think Snoop Dogg has read that, because I don't think he would have signed off on that description of his wine.
Like, could you just imagine, like, he's in one of his videos, just popping the best raps you've ever heard, and he just pulls out an Aussie wine.
A Cali Red too, like oh wow. It's great.
And then he starts talking about those. I don't even know half the words you just said. I just heard red wine, Snoop Dogg. I'm going to try it, but I'm going to try it.
Man, that's a good point you bring up, that you don't understand half the words that I just read, because, man, I think especially for us, like mid-20s, kind of lower social economic background, for us, man, wine always seems so pretentious to get into. Like, there feels like there's such a boundary to get into actually enjoying wine, because not only is there like price, but also it's, man, like all those words are so pretentious. And like, even when I was doing wine stuff in TAFE, like it was all so fucking snooty. And I think that's something I actually really enjoy about this wine, is because it feels like it cuts through a bunch of the crap, because this is just a flat out really good wine, aged in rum barrels, which makes it better somehow. And the bottle's not pretentious. The bottle is very sleek and stylized. There's none of this gobbledygook on it. It's just good wine, man. It's just good wine.
Yeah, this is, if you haven't tried red wine and you want to, like, you want an entry point to get into wine, grab this bottle and just have a jam.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
Well,
I'd recommend this.
How did you get into drinking wine? Because I know you've worked in a winery before. Was that when you kind of started?
Well, it was actually when I met my partner, my wife Elise. She and her family, they came over to New Zealand before we met, and they went down to Marlborough, which is actually where the rosé is from, that I'm about to we'll talk about later. But she kind of introduced me, and we actually started drinking Sauv Blancs.
Okay, yeah.
So a Sauvignon Blanc, and down there they're known for a really good one. So we've actually gone down there and done a few wine tours. She kind of got me into it, and then when we went to Queenstown and we started working in the Gibbston Valley Winery, we got to try like $80 bottles of wine.
Oh wow, that's a hell of a way to start your career of wine drinking.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even I'll bring one back one time and we'll sit down, and like it is another level. You do get what you pay for.
Yeah, I mean that's funny, because like I always hear that with wine, and I know one day I'm gonna have to splurge and buy like the old $100 30-year-old wine or whatever. Or, but for like an entry point of wine, like I've always found. So when I started drinking wine, it was like, I want to say like a year ago now, maybe.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, probably a year ago. And I was listening to an Australian comedian who I really love, a guy by the name of, completely blanking on his name here, and it's Harley Breen. Harley Breen is an Australian comedian, all round great comedian, and he was talking one day, maybe it was on radio or a podcast or something, about his drinking habits. He's a well-known drinker. And he was talking about wine, and, he said something about along the lines of, beer's good, all alcohol is good if you find the one for you. Like, it's very rare that you could discount a whole type of alcohol or something like that. I can't even remember. I was probably drunk when I listened to it. Yeah. I think it might have been on his That's the Drink Talking podcast. Anyway, And I was like, okay, you know, I'll try a Pinot. I'll try a Pinot Noir. So the first one I ever had was a Pinot. I still remember what it was. It was a Australian company by the name of the Stag Pinot.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of it.
Again, it's in that like $10 to $15 price range.
Yep.
And I remember I had these wine glasses in the fridge, and I poured myself a glass, and I was drinking it, and I was like, okay, I kind of see what this is. You know, it's not goon. It's not the goon that I remembered.
Yeah, that's not wine.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I can see this. And then I finished the bottle, and I was like, I noticed over the next couple of days that I was craving another bottle. So I went and I got another bottle, and I tried a different Pinot Noir. And then I finished that bottle, and then I tried a different Pinot Noir. And I just found myself constantly trying different types of wines. And then, you know, from the Pinots, I went to the Cab Savs, and from the Cab Savs, I went to the Chardonnays. From the Chardonnays, I went to the Rosés. And I did this thing over maybe like 6 months where, you know, every couple of days I'd buy a different type of wine, a different brand, a different blend, like a different type of wine. I did that for 6 months, and at the end of that 6 months, I was like, oh, I actually enjoy wine now, and I can tell the differences now in the types and what a different bottle's going for, and, you know, you can tell, oh, this was grown, the grapes were grown in New Zealand, and that's why it tastes this way, or, you know, it was grown in this, and that's why it tastes this way, or this has, you know, less alcohol content, so you get more of the fruit. And I think with wine, less so with beer, I think to grow a taste or get a palate for wine, what you basically have to do is drink a whole bunch of different wine and figure out what the fuck it's doing. Because wine's so hard to get into as a beginner, as someone who's never gone to wine before. You've just got to literally just go to the bottle shop and grab 3 different bottles from 3 different sections, try them all, figure out which one you like, and then rinse and repeat till forever. Do that for the rest of your life. It's the best way to do it.
And I also think, like, if there is a winery close by, like go to a winery or a wine region and do a wine tasting tour. Yeah. Like, it can be a little bit, if you haven't done much, I mean, like, you kind of have to do what you said first, and then if you start feeling like you start to like wine, I feel like when you go on a wine tour, they really do. Towards the end of the day, they've told you this tastes like, has hints of bark, and you're a bit like, but they actually do teach you how to drink it properly, how to understand it. You don't have to drink all of it. They have the little batoon or whatever where you can spit it into. Yeah. And I love wine tours. I really do.
Yeah, wine tours are great.
I actually have learnt a lot.
We got to do a wine tour, man. Next time we're in the same area, we're just doing a wine tour. God, I can't wait for COVID to fuck off and for you to be able to come back over, or for me to go over there and just... Yeah. Oh man, I miss you. I miss you, buddy.
I know, bro. It's a wild. Like, who would have thought 2020? Like, we would be here, right?
Good year to get into wine, though. God, I loved getting into wine in 2020. Good year for wine.
Definitely. So yeah, back on the like, wine it's when we were working at Gibson Valley, and on those wine tours as well, you learned that, like, so they can have a massive big vineyard, and they can have wine growing on a hill, and the soil there can change the fruit from the soil downwards a little bit sandier, or if it's a bit rockier, or if it's got more gravel in. It literally, even in the same, like 100 meters, you can see a vine. The grape can change from that short amount of distance. Because I think the roots are a little bit more stressed if it can't get certain water, or there's so much into it.
Yeah, it's a really, like, it feels like, I don't know about you, but that feels like it would be kind of one of my dream jobs to be like a winery guy, like where you just work at a winery and you know all that stuff about the soil, where you're sitting there and you're looking at a big hill of all your grapes, and you're like, well, this one's going to be a bit more like this because that soil over there is a bit sandy. But these ones, oh man, I feel like I would fucking love that. Waking up every morning, sipping a coffee, looking over a vineyard. Oh. Yep. Oh, no, God.
The winemakers down in Queenstown, they work their asses off.
Oh, yeah.
They seem to they loved it. They were doing 12-hour days, and especially down there in wintertime, they have to, like, pay helicopters to come in for the frost because it can kill the vines. So literally a helicopter will take off, and they have little lights above certain parts of the vineyard, and when they go red, it means that it's dropped below a certain temp, where the trees are, the vines are about to die. So a helicopter flies, hovers over there, and like obviously tries to mix the air, like suck the cold air up and mix it with warm air, and then he'll sit there for 5 minutes, and then he'll shoot. He'll go red over there, and he shoots there, and they literally do that over winter, and it's something like $2,000 an hour, I think, to rent that. But
Man,
and one of the guys I work with, he was like, oh, that would be so cool to like get up there and experience that. So he got a call at 4 a.m, because they're like, as soon as it drops, anytime they get a call, and the helicopter pilots have to be ready to go. So he quickly raced down there, got in there, hopped up, and he was like, this is awesome. Started going around, and then I think he was up there for something like 2 or 3 hours, and he's like, first 5 minutes was cool, and then it was boring as shit.
Yeah.
You're just hovering above grapes, just moving.
Yeah.
And then you can't get down once you're up there. It was just so interesting that like there's just so much money in it as well. Like
wine's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like so, I think I mentioned this on the last Lords of the Bottle we did. But we had a family holiday like a month ago, and we ducked over to the Hunter Valley, which is the big wine region in New South Wales.
Yep.
And it is
beautiful place.
Just driving in there, you turn off the highway, and then all of a sudden it's just rows and rows and rows of vines and vineyards, and also like these vineyards, man, they're not just like little, barns on the top of a hill. These are like massive facilities, and they're fancy, and the architecture's all whack, and there's big signage, and they're huge, man. It looks like a Scientology center, man. Some of these wineries are insane. And also like you're going through there, and as I was going through there and I was driving past a winery, I was like, oh, I've had that wine. And then the next one I was like, oh, I've had that wine. And then I was like, huh, I had that wine. And like all these wines that are being grown in the Hunter Valley are like, I've drunk most of them because I picked most of them up from my local bottler. Like it's crazy to think that all these great wines that I've been enjoying are literally made 3-hour drive from me, down the road. Like it's wild, man. Australia and New Zealand. It is a
beautiful spot.
Oh yeah, and Australia and New Zealand just make some bloody fantastic wine. Like we're a drinking country. We are. Yeah. Like it's undeniable this fact. Like we have per capita, we would have some of the highest drinking in the world, I would imagine. Like we're fucking huge on drinking. Like the average drinking age is really young. Like so, I started drinking at 14. Like and you would have been about the same, right? 14, 15?
I think it was 14, 15. Yeah. Looking back, you're like, holy shit, that's young.
Could you imagine what potential we would have had if we had not drank since, like... I mean, we wouldn't have been friends because we would have been fucking nerds, but,
Well, life would have been a little bit different, but...
Oh, man, it's just wild to think that we started drinking at such a young age. But, yeah, we're a drinking country, and for us to have... For this country to have such a good foundation in wine and beer, and I'm sure we'll find out it's got a booming spirits culture when we start drinking spirits for this channel, for this show.
Yep.
But this is good. Man, I'm about to polish off this glass. How are you doing?
Yeah, I think I've polished my little bit off. I didn't do my pour wasn't as big as yours, so I'm gonna go back again.
Yeah.
And so it's just going down a treat right now. It's like usually I would go a red wine, and I'd be slapping a red wine down in winter time, and then summertime I'm usually going more like a rosé or a Sauv Blanc.
Yeah, agreed on that one.
This still is just going down a treat. It's not too warm here in New Zealand at the moment, but it's just a beautiful wine. I really do love this wine.
I really hope this is picking up on the video, but I am drenched in sweat because it is 1 billion degrees in my shed. But this wine is still going down an absolute treat, man. I spent so today Teddy, my youngest, had to go for a birthday party, and one of these new does New Zealand, I'm sure New Zealand has this big trend of like trampoline places. So it's just like a big warehouse full of like So for anyone who doesn't know, they're just basically big warehouses full of trampolines and rope swings and all these shenanigans. So I took Teddy there today. So I literally spent like 3 hours in a shed with no aircon, just watching 40 children lose their minds as they bounce. So yeah, man. I'm so buggered. I'm so tired. Just sitting down drinking this wine it's the highlight of the day so far, man. It's so good.
It's it's a beautiful way to polish off a good Saturday. But why did we not have those trampoline parks?
Oh
when we were
man.
younger?
So
I needed that in my life.
I was going there today, and they've got all this signage up everywhere. So I was reading some of the signage because I'm a dad now. So it's basically what I do when these go places. I just read the terms and conditions and the safety rules and shit. You know,
What am I signing my life away for?
basically. It was like, and it's basically the big sign is just basically if someone dies, it's their fault. Basically, like rules of entry is you can't sue us for anything. And it was bedlam in there, like absolute bedlam. Like kids just doing somersaults into walls. And like, I was in there and I was standing on that because all the floors are like these big spring pad things and like there's bounce on all the floors. And basically everything's a soft padded surface. So I was just in there just yeeting kids like everywhere. Hey, like Teddy would run up and be like, throw me, daddy, throw me. And I'd just be like, yeah, right here, whoosh. Just like yeet him halfway across the warehouse.
Doing some WWE moves.
just duplexing off the high trampoline. Just,
good old Rey Mysterio, 619, just doing some mean moves, bro. I could see it.
It was good fun, man. It was good fun. But yeah, like the fact that we didn't have those as a kid, man. Could you imagine what we would have done in places like that when we were like 16, 17? It would have been nuts, man. We would have tore that shit to the ground. Oh.
Yeah, probably a good thing, I think.
Oh man, my ankles couldn't take it. My ankles were hurting when I walked into that place, just looking at all the places, man. It was so gnarly.
That's how you know we're getting older, bro. Look at honestly, we're doing a podcast about drinking wine, and we look at trampolines and we think we're going to hurt ourselves.
Well, my ankles. Do you remember we you were back in Australia at the time, and we went for a camping trip. Your whole family and all of our mates and stuff out at...
Yep. Out the back of Grassy Head.
Yeah, out the back of Grassy Head. And we were playing a game of like touch footy or something, and I mangled my ankle like halfway through it and went to the ground. My ankle's never been the same, hey. Like literally,
really?
that ankle, that's the day that my ankle was gone forever. Like it's done. I did it that day, and it's never been good ever since. Like it's so fucked.
Well, at least there's a good memory, I guess. You got to take something out of it.
That was
the trip was good.
That was a good trip.
But
yeah, that was a fun trip. Yeah, but I mean,
what would we have been drinking there? Do you think?
Beer probably. Just beers. Yeah, that was back in the day when we were just drinking beers. Because I mean, I think we had started dabbling in some nicer stuff, but yeah, most of it was just beers.
Do you remember after my 18th, I got given a nice bottle of port, and we were staying in Scott's Head, and it was and we tried it. I should have kept that because it'd probably be beautiful right now.
Oh yeah, we would enjoy it.
We would appreciate it.
Yeah,
because we had it, and we were drinking it up, and we were just like, what is this? This is absolute. rank.
Port's so sickly. Yeah. You don't skull port. Like, yeah, we were just necking it from the bottle.
Like, come on, man. Like, that would have aged perfectly. Imagine just cracking it open on my 30th birthday. It would have been beautiful.
Nice little sips of port as you're having your cake or whatnot on your 30th birthday. It would have been great, mate. It would have been great.
And we absolutely ruined it and slapped it down like idiots. But I guess,
I remember, one of those classic stories where you're going to a party, so you steal some alcohol from your parents, so you've got something to drink. And I think I stole. This was back when I hope Justin doesn't. No, it wasn't Justin. No, it was Justin. God, I hope Justin doesn't listen to this episode. Sorry, Justin. But yeah, Justin had some alcohol in his room, and I think it was like Wild Turkey, the 101 proof, or American Honey, maybe. Maybe it was American Honey. Yeah, it would have been American Honey. I remember. I think it was American Honey. But I remember like just tipping some into like a little drink bottle and stuff. And like I love American Honey now. I think it's an actually really nice drop. And but I was just like necking it and then just smashing some like Lift or some like cheap lemonade just to get the taste out of my mouth.
Some black and gold lemonade.
Oh, I just remember like drinking so much alcohol but never actually enjoying drinking it because I hated it, and just following it with some sugary syrup chaser just so I could get rid of the taste.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy to think how much nice alcohol I've wasted in the years just because I wanted to get drunk and I wasn't ready to appreciate it.
So yeah, hopefully some younger people can learn from our mistakes listening to this podcast and hopefully appreciate it. So if you get a bottle of port from...
Save it.
Yeah, save it and don't be a dickhead and slap it down with the boys.
Also, if you're out there and you want to buy an 18-year-old a great birthday present, don't get him an expensive bottle of port because he's not going to fucking enjoy it. Fucking a slab of beer, a carton of Jim Beam, fucking you name anything else but port. No 18-year-old in their right mind is going to enjoy port.
No.
It's not for 18-year-olds, mate. It's just not.
No, and what 18-year-old is really putting away wine for their future self?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to pour another little glass of this red because I'm very much enjoying it, and then we'll crack on to the rosé.
Yep.
Wow, that's well over half the bottle. Oopsie. Jesus. I did it. I've already done myself in again, mate. What am I doing? Ugh.
And then the rosé is going to go down a treat on a night. Like, you will be slapping that down a nice bottle.
That
nice
rosé is
cold
going
bottle
to
of
vanish.
rosé.
I love rosé, man. Do you remember the first time you got actually drunk? I don't know if we talked about this in the last one. What was the first time you got actually drunk?
It was at one of the good old boys, Johnny Rowe, which everyone might know.
On this podcast, they know J Rowe, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows Johnny Rowe. So Johnny Rowe used to play footy. I think it was for the Barraville Tigers. So he was playing and it was their grand final, and I'm pretty sure they won. And we went back to one of the boys' house for
how old were you at this point?
This would have been we would have been 15, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So we somehow got someone to buy us a bottle of Johnny Walker Red Label. I think John had drunk before, for a few of us, and that was the first thing he drank. And for some reason, he told us it was really good, and it was what thinking about it, bro. I can taste it.
I know, like, we all know John Rowe pretty well. He would have just seen, like, Scotch mentioned on, like, How I Met Your Mother or something and be like, yeah, I'll drink Scotch. That's what men do. Yeah. He would have been fucking lying his ass off, that dirty little rat.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Josh was there as well. Maybe another one of our mates, Andrew. And
Flash,
but I think it was three of us, and we got a bottle of that. We got someone to get us that. We got a pack of Winnie Reds, I think, as well.
Oh, yeah. I can taste that. You can taste the Scotch. I can taste the Winnie Reds, mate.
Yeah, pack of Winnie Reds. So Johnny, of course, knew the best way to mix it. So we bought 3 bottles of Coke. 3 bottles of Coke, and I can still see it, right? So John cracked the bottles of Coke and he tipped them out he had a perfect ratio, an absolute perfect ratio.
John always has the perfect whatever he thinks he's doing. It's always the perfect.
Oh, Johnny boy, I love you, bro.
He's even got the perfect way to shut the boot of his car. You shut his boot in any other way, but the perfect way, he'll fucking rip into you.
Oh, Johnny, I don't want to out him too much, so I think I'll just stop there.
No, we will. We will 100% will. Fuck him. We'll fucking out him as much as he wants. He's going to be...
Did you ever see him eat the mee goreng? He had the perfect way of chewing his mee goreng.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Johnny boy. Oh.
No, he still goes on about, man, this is just us fucking flaming John now, but he still goes on about having the absolute perfect way of flaming Johnny, He still goes on about having the perfect way of making mee goreng. Like, he's got his perfect recipe worked out. He thinks he's bloody the Gordon Ramsay of 2-minute noodles. Like,
of mee goreng. But in saying that, he does make a good mee goreng.
Yeah, he does make a mean mee goreng. I'll give him that one. Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
But yeah, so John had the perfect mix, right? So he tipped it in. He even had the perfect amount of spins you had to spin it. I'm sure of it. I can't be making this up. Anyway, so yeah, it was after the game. Everyone was on. They won, and I remember like drinking. I was like, oh, I can't even feel anything. Started drinking more, and then all of a sudden I was just like stumbling everywhere. But I could remember it, and I remember people people would say like, oh, when you start drinking, like if you get super smashed, you'll black out and you won't remember anything. So I kept thinking to myself, I was like, try to remember this conversation. I was best mates with everyone. Back in those days, I wasn't the most confident person, but I was up at everyone. I was up talking to everyone, best mates to everyone, making myself welcome in their house. I never even met the parents, but I was having a yarn at the kitchen table.
Oh, mate, I always have the most distinct memory of you. It was like anytime you were drunk, you'd almost like laser focus in on just find a parent. You like Callum's like main goal was just to find a parent. Just find a dad to have a yarn with, and you'd automatically change your whole cadence of talking. You'd be like hanging with the boys, like, yeah, boys, it's been fucking sick. And then you find the dad, you'd be like, hey, g'day, mate, how you going? Oh, mate, it's a fucking lovely house you got, mate. Beautiful plot of land. Look at that view. Look at the view.
What timber is this?
Oh, mate.
How many acres you got?
Well, when's the last time you mowed? The grass is looking sweet, mate. It's looking mint. Callum, the friend to all parents.
That liquid courage, it did well. It did wonders for me. But then, and then I think Dennis, John's dad, picked us up. Shout out Dennis. That was a classic ride home. And then I actually had to go to work the next day.
Oh, brutal.
I was working in a cafe.
But that was back in the days where there wasn't no such thing as hangovers. Hangovers didn't exist, mate.
No, bro. I was hungover.
You reckon?
I was so hungover. I was like, I'm never drinking again.
Oh God!
I honestly looked myself in the mirror and I'm like, "You've done with drink. You did it once. You tried it. It's not for you. Cut your ties. You're gonna be sober for the rest of your life." And here we are now. So that didn't work. But I still remember, man. I think I was in the toilet for like half the shift. I'm pretty sure I got fired maybe a few weeks later.
Wow, that's amazing. I remember like I had a few times where I was like, pretty drunk, tipsy, a little bit drunk. At the time I would have said I was, hammered, for, the first 6 to 8 months of my like drinking career. And then it came up to the time of my year 10 after party. So after the formal in year 10.
Yep.
And, it was at, whose house was it at? It was at a guy's house. His name's Dane. It's at Dane's house. I don't know if you ever met Dane Simpson, the guy that went to my high school.
But I think I do remember. I kind of remember where you had it. It
was at Valor. It was like a bit of a drive away from where, and we all went out there like a group of my mates, and I was working at a pizzeria at the time, and one of the guys I was working with, I asked him to get me alcohol. And I don't know if he stitched him up or if he was just playing. If he stitched me up or if he was just playing a joke on me or something. So I gave him $50. Right, I said, I just got paid that day. I was like, here's $50. Here's $50. Can you buy me enough alcohol, so I can have a good time at this party? And he came back with a bottle of Smirnoffs and a bottle of Everglades. This was one of the first times I had Everglades. And he said, this will sort you out. Looking back, that's an insane amount of alcohol to give like a 15, 16-year-old person to go to a party to drink.
And just before you finish your story, we need to just let the listeners know. Sorry, this is for outing you right here as well. You're a bit of a lightweight.
I'm a fucking lightweight.
Absolute lightweight.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm a bit more piss fit now than I was back in the day.
Yeah.
But there was times where like infamously 2 Red Bears got me fucking undone for sure.
You were hammered.
Yeah, I'm not like I never handled alcohol well back in the day. I don't know why.
That's a lot. That was a lot to give you.
And it's not like I was a little fella too. I think maybe that's what he was going through because I was a big guy. Like I was 6 foot in high school and like 100 kilos. Like I was a big dude. I still am. But yeah, he's given me this bottle of Smirnoff and this bottle of Everglades. So I've rocked up to the party, and it's a 15-minute drive from where the formal was to where the party was, and we were drinking in the car. And I had Macca's Coke in one hand and the Smirnoff in the other hand. And what I was doing is the whole drive there was scull the Smirnoff, sip the Coke, scull the Smirnoff, sip the Coke, scull the Smirnoff. So I was half the bottle of Smirnoff gone before I'd even got to the party. And then I'd finished the bottle. Within the first 20 minutes of the party.
No way.
And then blacked out, in the gutter, throwing up on myself, unable to move. The only vivid memory I have is me vomiting on myself in the gutter at my year 10 after party while the song it was really peak Kesha time. So you remember the song TikTok?
Yeah.
So all I can remember is me vomiting in myself. In the background, all I hear was TikTok, make it stop, but the party won't stop till
Probably
night.
a couple fist pumps in there.
Oh, mate, and that's literally hearing that song now, I can still taste the vodka vomit in my mouth.
Yeah.
This is the grimmest party. Like, and this was at like 9:30. I was done. Like, I was so cooked. It was fucking brutal.
I can picture it. I can absolute picture it.
So we're both. I'm half this bottle gone of the 19 Crabs, the Uprising. Do we want to give this one a score? Get on to the next one.
Yep. Well, I think.
You go.
I think you can from the way we've been talking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
This is getting a bloody 5 out of 5. The price, the history you can learn from it, a little bit of Aussie history.
Yeah.
And just it's a beautiful wine. Like I would say it's a beautiful wine.
Yeah, man. This is getting everything, man. This is getting it on price, on design, on taste, on alcohol content. Like 8.9 set of drinks for a bottle. That's pretty good for a bottle. Like that's a bottle that's going to get you pretty warm and toasty at the end of the night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is getting everything that it needs to get, and it's my favorite wine, man. 19 Crimes, man. Shout out to that company.
100%.
Sponsor this podcast and send me more wine, please, because I will drink. I will drink everything you make because you have yet to make a bad wine in my eyes.
Yeah. No, that is an all rounder. If you haven't tried wine before and you kind of want to get into it, pick up a bottle of this, and you will not be let down. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have a drink of water now to refresh the palate.
Yep. Give it a little swish around. Got to do it properly.
Yep. And moving on to my second glass. This is a rosé glass, so it's a bit smaller than a red wine glass.
Yep.
And
Okie dokie.
You can go first. You can go first with your New Zealand rosé that you think is superior to my rosé.
Okie dokie. Rightio. So, it's called Baby Doll.
Baby Doll. It's a good name.
Yep. It's a beautiful bottle. The color, I just love a bottle of rosé. Just looks beautiful. Agreed. Strawberry color, and you can get different. Obviously, they all change a little bit. I think that comes down to how long they've left the skins in.
Okay.
So you can obviously get a darker one, or if they take it out early, it's a little bit lighter. And obviously, each winemaker kind of works with what they want. But so this is one that I think we had at a friend's house one time. And then this is my go-to summer drink where if Elise and I just want something nice to have with dinner, I'll grab this, and it's an absolute crowd pleaser. Just for the price, it's $16. Yeah, and it's a Marlborough wine, which is renowned throughout the world. It's at the top of the South Island. Elise and I think we've been there 3 times. Whenever someone comes and this is when we're down in Queenstown, we'd always drive up, and it's a beautiful part of New Zealand. It's just full of hundreds of different wineries. You can get Sauv Blancs to Pinot Noirs, this is their rosé from Baby Doll. Little fun fact: the reason they're called Baby Doll is because have you ever heard of the Baby Doll sheep?
No. What's the Baby Doll sheep?
So they're a breed of sheep that are kind of miniature. They're miniature sheep. I think they're fully grown. They go up to the height of your knee. I think it's 45 to 60 centimeters. And so this winery uses them instead of lawnmowers. They have little cute sheep roaming around their vineyard, and they use them because they're not tall enough to eat the grapes.
Pick the berries. Yeah. Okay. I mean, my mind is just racing with jokes to make about how New Zealand fuck sheep, but the fact that they're baby dolls and they're very small sheep, I feel like I'm not going to make any jokes because I feel like it's inappropriate.
I forgot. I've lived in New Zealand too long that I've forgotten about that.
That's crazy, man. I
absolutely forgot about that. Shout out New Zealand sheep.
For any international listeners that don't know, New Zealand, for some reason, I think it's just an Aussie thing that we made up that all New Zealanders fuck sheep. They don't. I mean, obviously they don't.
But I think it
They-
stems from because there's more sheep than people in New Zealand, but the same in Australia. There's a shitload more sheep than people.
Oh, there's more cows. There's more
Yeah.
cows in Australia than anything else, and you know, most of them went to high school with me. Oh, boom.
He's
Sorry,
feeling sassy. He's
Wine
feeling
makes me sassy. So I'll move on. I'll move on to my one. So I got this beautiful honeycomb rosé from Western
Ooh,
Australia.
That looks beautiful.
This is an all-time favorite of mine. It's always in high rotation. A sip of Devil Airs honeycomb is an explosion of flavor, color, and texture in the mouth. So it's got this light pink, almost copper color.
Yeah.
Like it's very light. The reason I love this wine so much is it's 7.4 standard drinks per bottle. But this is a crisp, light rosé. I find it almost. I don't know, man. There's something about this honeycomb that it's ridiculously nice. So, man, let's pour up. I'm so excited to get into these rosés.
So already, I think if we're doing the Anzac head to head, so yours you said was 7.4 standard drinks.
Yeah, and $12.90 a bottle.
Okay.
$12.90.
I'm 7.7 standard drinks.
Okay.
So I think I
What
win
about
that one.
bottle design? What about bottle design? Can you see this one?
Well, I love
Yours is very pink. Yours
Yeah,
is
it's
definitely a
very
pink
pink.
rosé. Oh, yours. Oh, okay. The design on your bottle is very cute, actually.
Bro, they have miniature sheep. I win.
Yeah, this has got this whole kind of Confederates early soldier shooting, like a cannon with an explosion of like strawberries and this tinted gold and roses.
I'm not gonna lie. That is a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, I mean, Baby Doll is very cute, and 7.4, man, this is nice. And I think the color of this bottle isn't like the actual color of this wine. The copperish tinge is not as appealing as the really dark pink of your rosé. Like, I think a
Yeah.
rosé that's really that nice pink color catches the eye a bit more, but the subtleness of this color is something I'm drawn to. But yeah, I think I would see a lot of people going towards the darker pink of your bottle over the subtle pink of this,
Yeah,
just on
'cause-
looks alone.
Yeah, but the flower, like the flowers always get me. So I do.
Yeah,
I do.
flowers do always get me too.
So like I would pick that up. I'm gonna see that on the shelf. I'm gonna go, hey, this is a pretty beautiful bottle of wine. So what does it say on? So on the back of mine, I've got the little, like the blurb or what do you call it on the back of a bottle?
I think it's a blurb. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's got a technical term,
Anyway.
but we're not technical people.
So mine's saying it's got hints of pomegranate, fresh strawberries, and honeysuckle, with hints of strawberry cheesecake.
So I've got on mine, it is crushed summerberry flavors with creamy textures and a seductive hint of sweetness.
Okay.
Gotta love
So
a
I
seductive.
feel like that bottle of wine just that left it open to the imagination, where mine was a little bit more.
Yeah.
This is what you're getting. This is what you're going to expect.
It's definitely a bit more vague with, you know,
Yeah.
it's just crushed summer berries with a creamy texture and a hint of sweetness.
Like, which berries are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Well, summer berries, you would assume, you know, summer berries. But this is made from Devil Airs Winery, which is a great name for a winery, by the way.
Yeah, I like that.
And they continues their philosophy of making wines that define the region, respect the variety and the deliciousness of the area, and a drink you can enjoy. I mean, I hope you can enjoy it. I mean, it's half.
Yeah.
You're never going to get a drink you're not going to enjoy. You don't need to put it on the bottle. I'm just saying. Just
Okay,
saying.
Here we are.
Let's do it.
Rightio, let's
smell?
have a. Yep. Man, I love that.
Yeah, this is like
It's summertime.
You know, it said subtle sweetness, and you can actually smell a subtle sweetness, and
Yep.
it just smells like summer and
Yep.
honey and just pretty ladies in fields. Smells like pretty ladies in fields.
And
mate.
then you and me in the back corner.
Yeah, us dirty, swelly mongoloids just fucking
Two
hovering in the
bearded
back.
men in the corner, like sniffing rosé, going, "This is absolutely beautiful."
It's so
But
great.
hey, I'm there for it.
I'm so there for it. Okay, let's dive in. Oh, it's so clean and so creamy. Oh,
Yep.
it's crisp and subtle, and I can't explain how a rosé can be creamy, but it's creamy.
Yeah, I know.
It's so
It's insane.
it's black magic to me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand how they do this. It's witchcraft. I'm telling you.
But that's also the sign of a good wine, because you can get cheap rosé and it has that alcoholic taste, and the other flavors don't kind of mask that alcohol. Where I think a good wine, obviously because it's very alcoholic, has that alcohol in it, but the flavors can kind of mask that.
If I was handed this and you were told me it wasn't alcoholic, I would almost believe you, because you only get the slightest tint of like an alcohol taste right at the back of your throat at the very last moment of the swallow. Like, it's so subtle, and it's just like that little reminder that you're actually drinking wine. It's like, oh, okay, here it is, That's actually a wine I just drank. And
then I was just thinking if you haven't had a rosé before, if you see it, it's usually in the fridge, or you can get it over here anyway. It's on the shelf sometimes as well.
I bought mine from the shelf. Yeah,
that it needs to be cold,
crisp, ice cold.
Yeah.
My bottle, like this bottle, even though we're sitting in a hot shed, I've had it sitting in ice, and this is a very cold bottle.
It has to be cold. I'm talking, you even put it in the freezer half an hour before.
I'm not opposed to serving a wine with ice at any point in your life. If you feel like you want to serve a wine with ice,
mine now.
Very nice. I probably should put some in mine. But this is a very cold. But yeah, I hate that elitism of people who say, "Oh, you don't serve ice with wine. You're just watering down the wine." No, I'm not, because the ice isn't going to fucking melt by the time I drink this son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Because if it is, you're not doing it right.
No, exactly. If it is, you're not enjoying the wine. You just got to, it's so good. I love rosés, man. Mm.
Yeah, it is a crowd pleaser. And so I did a little bit of research the other night, and so apparently rosé is one of the oldest styles of wine, because...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked at that. I thought it would have been like I thought rosé would have been a particularly new type of wine.
No. That's what I think. That's what I thought as well. But I did a little bit of research into it. It's one of the oldest styles of wine, because it's made with red grapes. So obviously, like when you have white wine, there's different types of grapes, obviously, for different wine.
Yeah.
So I'm generalizing here a lot as well. So they use red wine grapes, and then they press them in there, and then make a really dark red wine. Apparently, they leave them in. And the darkness of the wine comes out from leaving it over a certain amount of weeks, and it leaches out of the skins and the seeds and the stems, and that's why you get a really dark red wine. Where with rosé, it's kind of done the same way, but they take it out early, so it's only
it doesn't get a time to develop the color.
Yeah, it's only been in contact with the skins for a short amount of time. And then back in the day, obviously, they didn't have the proper equipment or technology to do what they do today with the red wines, and they didn't have the big vats and all the different stuff they have today. So yeah, it was back in the day. It was just an easy, basic thing, and rosé was one of those things. I think it dates back to one of the oldest wines.
I should have looked this up before we did it, but is wine the first type of alcohol that existed?
I'm pretty sure.
You'd assume so, right? Because it's fermented fruit. Yeah.
It's on Game of Thrones.
Bible. It's in the Bible. I mean, Game of Thrones isn't exactly historical there, buddy. I'm going to have to pull you up on that one. But
yeah, but I mean, they're not drinking Tooheys New, are they?
not cracking a 4X, no.
No. But
that's a funny thing to think about as to what the different houses would drink as their different wines. I mean, you know the Starks, winter is coming, are drinking stouts. You just know they're a dark beer family.
Yeah, they're dickheads.
Yeah. And the Lannisters aren't drinking anything but champagne, those fucking wankers.
Yeah.
Fucking tossers, mate.
But yeah, so apparently as well, rosé has come in and out of fashion. So back in the day, it was obviously what everyone drank, and then when they started being able to develop better red wines, rosé kind of got pushed aside because it was it was seen as not like, I don't know, they not enough time put into it. So
Not classy enough, or not
no,
fancy
not classy enough.
maybe?
Yeah, because it was just like you put the skins in for a little bit, you take it out, you let it ferment, and then you've got wine. So I think it's gone in and out of fashion a few times, and then fun fact is the millennials have actually brought it back in.
Yeah, I believe that, because most people I know around our age who drink wine, like rosé is always in high rotation in their drinking habits. Like it's a popular style of wine, and I think it's so popular because it's so clean.
Yeah.
And like I don't mean clean as in like I mean clean as in a taste. Like with like a red wine, they're often a lot very complex.
Yep.
Like there's often like a top note, a bottom note, a back note. There's different combination of things happening in your mouth when you're drinking it. Like you've got to look out for your bitterness and your acidity, and you're looking for a subtle sweetness, and a blend, and you want it to be this balanced kind of complex flavor. With rosés tend to, or for me at least, tend to be a very clean and crisp taste where, this rosé I'm drinking right now, it's got a subtle bit of sweetness. I'm not dealing with any bitterness. Like it's sharp and crisp. It's, it's so drinkable too. Like this glass is gone. Like I've demolished this. There's nothing left.
Well, yeah, and like rosé is an all-rounder. It's like you can bring it to a barbecue. You could have it on a nice sunny day at lunchtime at brunch.
Oh yeah,
anyone can drink
brunch
it.
Wine. Oh, rosé at brunch, man! I don't think I've ever done a rosé at brunch. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh.
next time we're getting a couple of bottles of rosé. We're gonna get a cheese board, and we're gonna drink with our pinkies up.
I had this whole segment planned where I was going to pair the wines with that food. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Okay, 19 Crimes, The Uprising, pairing it with food. Do not drink this with a full meal. This is not a full meal wine. This is an after dinner wine with cheese or dessert. This wine it's too complex of a flavour to be mixing with a meal, because this wine is going to be more flavourful than whatever meal's in front of you, and it's going to confuse your palate, and you're not going to get the best of both worlds with a food. So I would pair this with a dessert, like a parfait or a pavlova, or something very simple, something fruity, not too complex, maybe like a dark chocolate-ish kind of deal, and maybe some cheeses to wind it out. Not a fruity cheese, like a sharp cheddar or a vintage, definitely something sharp with this flavour. And this rosé, like my rosé, pair it with fucking anything and it's going to be
100%.
good. Anything. If you're having a bacon egg roll from fucking Macca's, this is going to go nice with it. There's nothing this goes bad with. It's
or
great.
a pie and a chalky milk. I mean, maybe not chalky milk. Take the chalky milk outside. But I mean a pie.
A 4 and 20 pie from the server on your way to work. Smash it with a rosé. Obviously, drink responsibly.
Yeah, maybe you can be, someone can drive you and you can just be on the way home, maybe Friday drinks, But imagine rock. So I'm going to do this one day. I want to buy a bottle of this baby doll, Friday drinks for the boys. We've had a hard week and I want to rock up with a rosé, and I can guarantee you all the boys' eyes are going to light up and they're going to enjoy it. Because most of the boys at my work, they like I said in that last podcast, they like their standard
Basic
beers,
watery beers.
So I reckon I could give this to them and they'd enjoy it.
That's the thing. Like, there's this funny thing with so you work as a tradesman, carpenter, chippy.
Yep. I'm an apprentice. I'm an apprentice builder. Yep.
Yeah.
Chippy. Yep.
And I'm a chef. Both trades, both at different ends of the spectrum of trades. So like, there's this weird thing with chefs, and I don't know if it's just the chefs I know or if it's a universal thing. But hospitality workers in general tend to be very, very substance abusive. Like, all the chefs I know love drinking, love drugs. Not saying that's a bad thing. Like what you like, do everything in moderation, be responsible, take care of yourself, and don't harm others. That's all I care about. Don't be a dick, don't harm others. I don't care what the fuck you do. But hospitality workers always tend to go towards a harder liquor. Knock-off hospitality drinks, and for as long as I can remember, has always been Jameson and beer. So Scotch and beer. That's your thing.
Okay.
That's a hospitality knockoff. Is a shot of Jameson and beer. That's, for some reason, I don't know why. That's just it. But like a rosé, if you're having a rosé, that's like almost like a mid-service drink. That's what you're having mid-line. Like rosé is this. It cuts through all this kind of. For me, rosé always just seems to pull ahead of the pack of every other type of wine as this all-rounder kind of brilliant. You know, it's the one you never see coming. It's the underdog that rises above all else. Rosé is amazing, and it feels like everyone knows it's amazing, but yet no one wants to talk about how good it is. It's wild to me. Oh, God, I love rosé.
Well, are we technically millennials then? Is that
are we?
I don't really understand how that works.
We're both born in the 90s. I'm 94, you're 93, right?
Yeah. Or are we... Do you remember that show that was like the talking about your generation? Weren't we Gen Y? I don't know.
Yeah, I think... we're a bit younger than Gen Y, because I remember when talking about your... for international listeners, talking about your generation was an Australian reality game show where it was pitted 3 generations of people, so Gen X, Gen Y, and baby boomers. It's crazy to think that baby boomers were like a generation on TV, because now they're like the most hated people.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was 3 teams of these generations pitted against each other in like this quiz of wit and intelligence about, things relating to each generation. And I assumed we were always Gen Y, but Gen Y was a bit older than us, right? Because that was hosted by Josh Thomas, and he's in his late 30s now, I think, or early 30s. He's at least 10 years older than us.
So we must be maybe on
we
the
might
cusp,
be in between Gen Y and millennials. I don't know. I always get called at work a millennial. There's this one lady I work with, so every time I say something, she goes, "Oh, you're so millennial." To be fair, I do have a podcast about anime, and I feel like, and a very long beard and glasses, I feel like I get painted into a corner a fair bit.
But I mean, okay, so let's just say we're millennials now. I think our generation then, we are bringing rosé out of the shadows. It's been around for a while. We're bringing it out. We're showcasing it. We're loving it, which I'm sure that I'm just, again, talking like generally here, but like the winemakers, I'm sure, are obviously loving making this type of wine because
I'd be interested to see if there's some sort of statistics on what millennials drink the most, because I feel like, and me too, I'm just generalizing here, but I'm thinking of all the people I know around our age, and I know people that are, your stock standard watery beer drinkers. I know people that are, very adventurous in their drinking. I know spirit drinkers. I know wine drinkers. I know everyone that we know around our age tends to have a different and wildly different taste when it comes to their drinking preference. Like, a standard round at the pub is always really difficult with me, with us and our mates. Like, how do we do a standard round? Because not everyone at the table is drinking the same thing, It's... Man, I'm getting real sauced. I can tell, because I'm fucking rambling. And
This is the wine. This is what wine does. You always have a good yarn. And if you're drinking responsibly and you're enjoying it, like, what's the harm?
Exactly. It's like 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon now, as of time of recording. Yep. I've got absolutely bupkis left to do today. I've got to make a nice dinner, go to bed. That's my plans for the rest of the day. So being, a little bit tipsy on wine is absolutely fine with me right now.
No, that's it. You got to enjoy yourself. You got to sit back. Sometimes you got to enjoy. So if you want to enjoy and you haven't got a lot of money, go out and get these wines that, like, I'm just going to come out and say, my baby doll, I'm giving again top marks. It's a beautiful wine. There's no faults. It's for the price. It just does the job. It can go with anything. It's absolutely beautiful.
Same to my honeycomb. Like, this is a phenomenal wine by a phenomenal brewer. There's something so simple about a rosé, and when it's done right and it's done with the care and attention that these brewing companies are putting into it.
Yep.
And it's so simple and so beautiful. A simple rosé. It's the epitome of what I think wine should be, and that's a defined goal for a drink. Like, you know, wine is this historical, you know, beautiful heritage of drinking throughout human history. Like everyone,
it's been around for years.
It's been around for years. It's a craft. It's almost a religion at this point. Wine and rosé is just, it's simple, it's beautiful, it's perfect. I mean, I'm tearing up over here. Honeycomb
We love rosé.
We love rosé. We're rosé boys. We're rosy boys, mate. We're rosy boys.
We're two bearded men that love a bloody rosé. It's 2020.
We're two bearded men who aren't afraid to talk about their feelings and aren't afraid to sip a rosé on an afternoon. A rosé away.
Yep, exactly.
And if 2020 has taught us anything, it's taught us to stop, take stock, and enjoy the simple things in life. And fuck me if I'm not doing that right now. Cheers, Callum.
Cheers, brother. Much love, man.
We should probably wrap it up there. We've gone well over an hour. This podcast always seems to run long when we're talking wine when we're talking alcohol, because we get drunk. Let's be honest, we get a bit tipsy.
Yeah.
We should probably set what we're going to do next one. So we've done beer, we've done wine. Should we dip out? Spirits feels like it's going to be dangerous. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking as well. What do you know those new, like, are they seltzers or whatever?
Oh, like the gin and tonics and stuff like that?
No, they're the, like, Fisher. Do you know the DJ in Oz? He's just come out with a whole new thing, and in America they're massive. It's brewed like a beer.
Yeah.
But it's clear, and it's like it's kind of like soda water with a flavored thing. And it's huge in America.
Okay, yeah, let's try it. Send me through some recommendations and we'll get onto it. I've never...
But I mean, that's just what I was thinking, but if you... they're just massive at the moment.
For sure, let's try something new, man. As I said when we were talking about it, like, me and you love to try new stuff when it comes to alcohol and drinking, and, you know, let's try something new. It's been a minute since I tried something new, so yeah, let's go. What are they called again, sorry?
I think they're called seltzers.
Seltzers? Seltzers?
Or maybe I'm not saying it. Something like that.
Okay. Well, no, let's try something new. So, I mean, we're definitely going to be doing more of these because, man, it's just a good excuse to catch up. And I said it at the start of the pod.
I know.
Earlier in the podcast, but fuck, I miss you, buddy. And I can't wait to, man, when we get to do one of these live in person, sitting next to each other, it's going to be so beautiful, man.
It's going to be dangerous. We're going to have to, like, tell everyone. We're going to have to, like, apologise to everyone in advance. I'm worried about I'm going to bring a suitcase full of clothes and a suitcase full of piss.
Man, I'm worried about the fact that
Australia.
I'm going to have to blank out like a week solid of whenever you come so we can do one of these every day. Like, all we're going to do is drink and talk shit about how much we love drinking. And it's...
It'll be like schoolies again, bro.
I get a bit worried that people think we're alcoholics because we talk about how much we love drinking. I don't love drinking to get drunk. I love the experience of trying something new, and I love the creative ways people use, you know, alcohol and this historic practice of brewing alcohol. And, you know, I remember... Okay, another tangent. I remember watching a documentary, and I can't remember what the documentary is, but it stated in that documentary that the thing that made humans as a species stop being nomadic and, you know, this kind of wandering species, and made us, you know, settle down and start communities and cities and raise families in the one spot and, you know, bunker down and create homes and villages and towns and whatnot, was the act of brewing alcohol, you know, because you needed to have an established crop and an established place to brew alcohol. And that is the reason we started to become less nomadic and more, you know, community driven, is because as a community, we wanted to brew alcohol. So we had to stay in the one place. And if that's true, of course that sounds true, because why the fuck wouldn't it be? As a species, we love getting tipsy. And I love getting tipsy with you, buddy, and it's been a fucking ripper podcast. We should end it there. So go to the socials at Lords of Dorktown on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can write into the pod at lordsofdorktown@gmail.com. We will have another one of these coming out very soon. And as always, it's an absolute pleasure to catch up with you, buddy. I miss you
bro,
dearly, and I can't wait to see you again.
100%, bro. I've enjoyed it. I'm definitely loving it, and we're promoting Aussie and New Zealand wine, and especially in 2020, it's good to get it out there to everyone to just show what these little islands down the bottom of the world are producing beautiful wines.
Exactly.
And, hey, don't forget about us. We're
Oh,
down here.
mate. Yeah, don't forget about us. Anyway, that's Lords of Dorktown, baby. Lords of the Bottle. It's all done. Catch you later, guys. Peace.
Much love, catches.